You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
It's your boy, Evan Closky.
Back again, and we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making Locked On Rays your very first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Rays is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube at Locked On Rays. We are, of course, pleased to be joined by Channel 10 WTSP Sports Director Evan Closky. And since we last spoke a week ago or so, the Rays have been on a roll. I guess when you face the Royals and Angels, that'll do that to your franchise?
It certainly helps, right? I think after that debacle in Yankee Stadium, I'm pretty sure I said, right, you have to win 6 of 8. That 5 of 8 would not be debilitating, but might hurt you in the later rounds. 6 of 8 was always the goal. They accomplished that against the Royals. And, they are looking just fine against the Angels for now. And but we know what's coming down the chute, right?
Yeah.
Like the schedule is going to get a lot harder. Luckily, the Mariners are losing to like the Nationals and the Athletics. And the Mariners have a really easy schedule. So you need a little fortune as well. But creating some buffer with 2 more series against the Yankees coming down. You got, Houston also. The one hope is maybe the Astros by then have locked everything up and they're kind of half-assing it to the finish line. That's really what you're hoping for as a Rays fan.
I want to turn the attention to the schedule because we have talked about the schedule and we've kind of been doom and gloom about September with facts. Like these are really difficult teams that the Rays are going to face, and it is the most difficult strength of schedule that any team is going to be facing. That any team has, right, for the rest of the 162. It's the Rays. Now, I was talking to a buddy, friend of the show, Austin Holloway, and he said, "Let's think about it the other way. Why are we thinking it with what is that? The saying the glass
half full, glass half empty.
Let's do the full empty, the half empty, half full, whatever the positive one is.
Optimistic is full.
There we go.
Pessimistic's empty.
So the full one, he's like, why don't we look at it this way? It's going to be good. If we believe that this Rays team is built for the playoffs, what better way to get your adrenaline pumping, that your competitive advantage, your actually strategic thinking about what you're going to be doing in October, better than doing it with teams that you're going to be facing in October. The Astros are going. The Yankees are going. The Blue Jays might be going, probably. So you're going to be facing all these teams that are good competition for you to get the ball rolling. So is that an alternative way of thinking that actually could help this clubhouse, Evan?
I don't know if it helps you sleep at night. Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, last year I distinctly remember them going to the Yankee Stadium. We threw McClanahan out there, and we're like, Boz went out there, and it was like, oh, this is a great tune-up, and this is, a playoff-like series, and, Lau went off, and it was like, man, Lau is so hot entering the postseason. There's no way he's going to suck again, And then what ends up happening is just the playoffs begin, things change, and each game is created independently of the things that happened before it. So in one instance, sure. I don't, we're going to see, let's go judge what let's say the Rays make it, right? And they do exactly what you're told. Let's go look at the flip side at the Mets, where their September schedule is probably the easiest out of anybody in the league. And then let's go see what happens in October. But in the end, we're talking about a small sample size. So no matter what, everything is a blip on the radar. And when you go back to last year's series against Boston, it's not like the Rays played poorly. Outside of a bad pitch, an uncharacteristically bad pitching performance in Game 2 on the back half, even though Boz stunk that game anyway. But then you also had 2 games that were decided by extra innings, and you lost both of them. So, or it just, and a fluke Kevin Kiermaier. I mean, like, I can go on and on, but it's like, that's the margin of error in the playoffs. It's that thin, and I'm not necessarily a firm believer that road is going to help pave the path for them moving forward into the playoffs. I would just like to be in the playoffs in whatever way I can get there. That's the route that I prefer.
Question. Since we last spoke a week ago, what has impressed you most or given you some confidence for the Rays going forward? Is it Randy Arozarena? Is it Harold Ramirez? Is it somebody on the pitching staff that has picked things up of late? Of course, the Rays, I mean, as of this recording, they have yet to win the series against the Angels, but it looks like they got a good shot to do that, and that would be their 4th series win in a row. But dating back to since they took 3 out of 4 against the Royals, and now at least the first 2 games against the Angels taking care of business.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be the pitching, right? I mean, 9 of 11 games of giving up 2 runs or less. I mean, that is extraordinary. And not to mention, one of those games, they lost 3-2 in extra innings. So really that 10th game, they only gave up 2 within 9.
Yeah.
And then they also gave up 4 to the Yankees within 9 until the stupid Donaldson home run. But, the pitching, the starting pitching has been unfreaking believable. I mean, Kevin, I know you mentioned this a few pods back when we talked about it. I think we did it at the All-Star break, but more and more, the biggest surprise of the season has to be Jeffrey Springs. My Lord, like, that guy came into this camp as a relief pitcher that they just said, maybe he's got a little Drew in him. Maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. And the guy's got, like, and they pitch him in a very Tony Gonsolin type way. He's going to go through the order twice, and that's going to be it. And there's been tons of success there. Not to mention, these pitchers have also been extremely efficient and going deep into games. And I know Kluber also kind of gets the early hook, but, Cash has this luxury of not getting his bullpen stretched too thin early in games where he doesn't really have that many long relievers back there. Like, Garza Jr. isn't on the team anymore. Like, there's a lot of quality there, and maybe let's say their worst reliever would be, off the top of your head, what, like Sean Armstrong on paper, and he's been fantastic recently.
Right.
Colin Poche has moved kind of down the list of where he stood. A month ago, he was one of the best, and I mean, you just bring JT Chagua back, and his AAA numbers were a bit concerning, but we'll see what he brings to the team. Overall, it's the same story as last year to this year. Is really just the pitching is going to have to find ways to create success for this team. And while Randy has been fantastic to watch, he has been unbelievable. The faucet's going to turn off at some point, right? Like, Randy is hitting his numbers. Like, he is probably going to exceed a little bit of what we expected, but in the end, he's inching dangerously close to those stat lines that we predicted, which makes me believe that there's a cold stint coming on. Harold Ramirez, love him in the lineup. Wakes up, bowl cereal, 1 for 4, right? That's what Ulises said.
At least.
And
we're like 2 for 5.
But look at his BABIP. Like, his BABIP is insane this year.
Yeah.
I love Harold Ramirez, but this guy is the king of seeing eye singles, of doinkers, of getting jammed and flying it the opposite way. Like, if I were to put together a montage of his base hits, like his last 10, like, how many are hard contact base hits?
Yeah.
The guy but I give him credit because you make contact, that's what's going to happen. But
I think some of it too is he swings so hard, and infield defenders probably don't realize, or they're not ready for the fact that it could be a dinker or a doinker, because he swings out of his shoes all the time.
And he does have hard hit percentage. Like, he does hit the ball hard, but when those dinkers happen, like you're saying, Kevin, the fielders might already be adjusted to expect the hard hits. So the dinkers actually are falling in. But I want to highlight something you said. Entering Wednesday's game, in the last 11 games, 100 innings pitched by the Rays staff, only 18 earned runs.
Yep.
Fantastic what the pitching staff has been doing. Just the starters and the bullpen. It has been tremendous. The Rays are not where they are right now with all of their injuries and all the defensive mistakes and all of their base running gaffes without that pitching staff.
Yeah. And you can also thank Taylor Wall's shortstop play defensively as well. And Jeffrey Springs, I guess, maybe he's turning himself into a lefty Greg Maddux or something. Although I get a little nervous when he steps off the mound to try to make a play, because isn't that how he duffed his ankle last year? But he can move around a little bit and pick one and at least throw it to first. There's been a lot of issues for pitchers can't throw to first for whatever reason, but he seems to have a handle on it.
And I'll just say this just to wrap a bow on it. And again, I love Harold, but the BABIP's too high. Like, even with all the stuff, the great thing about Harold is that teams really don't know how to shift against him, and he's very good at picking the holes. So even though he has a high BABIP, I think a lot of it is planned. Like, I'm going to take what the defense has given me, and that's where I'm going to aim. Like that's kind of where the zone that he's in right now. But what's most encouraging is what could possibly be coming down the chute, and that is the hope, that you can build a little bit of buffer and get Wander back in this lineup, and you can hopefully get guys like Chirinos and McKay back to form in some way to help you in a September stretch, and then also dangling a little carrot that maybe come playoff time, you have Tyler Glass now coming in pitching for 2 innings as an opener of sorts.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Just highlight also Evan's point. Harold's BABIP is high, 371. 371. So.
Yeah, but he's batting 340, so it's naturally going to be high, right? What's the average BABIP? 300?
I think
what's his
average
BABIP?
280 and 330.
Okay. I don't think Harold Ramirez is ever going to have a batting average this high in his career ever again, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if he hits 300 another time or two in his career.
The expected batting average is in the 96th percentile.
Yeah.
So it's like, I get the BABIP is high, but like the way that he gets,
I love his
approach.
I love his approach. Again,
I know the approach is great.
I am a Harold believer.
Here's the hate mail. Tweet at Closky for all. He hates Harold Ramirez with a passion.
I am a huge freaking fan of Harold Ramirez. I'm just saying that there is some regression bound to happen. Yeah. Now, that might not happen this year. He might just go on a heater all the way through. It might be next year where you're like, oh man, we got Harold Ramirez coming back, and all of a sudden those base hits that were happening in 2022 are not happening in 2023. I'm just saying, I don't know where it's going to happen, but at some point he is going to come back down a little bit. Yeah.
Yes or no? Is he on the Rays in 2023?
Absolutely.
Okay. Fair enough.
But knowing this franchise, who knows?
That's true.
I wouldn't get rid of him.
What are the odds that you'll get pulled over? And even so, what's the worst that could happen? You lose your license, you lose your job, you total your car, you kill someone. It only takes one mistake to change your life or someone else's forever. Play it safe and plan ahead to get a ride. Drive sober or get pulled over. Marcelo Zuna could take a tip or two from that. We talked about pitching. What? Be responsible. I don't know what to tell you. So we talked about pitching quite a bit in the first segment, and we put something out on Twitter, hypothetical question, and figured it'd be right up Evan's alley. We know that the Rays traditionally do not closer or a de facto closer role, but if you had the choice, which of these two pitchers deserves or would deserve the closer job? Would it be Jason Adam or Pete Fairbanks?
Jason Adam, final answer. Not even close.
Why? Okay, not even close. What's so funny about this is the populace on Twitter disagrees considerably with you, because 62% say Pete Fairbanks, and 38% say Jason Adam.
Look at Jason Adams' numbers. They're insane. Like, I was looking at his Baseball Savant page the other day because I'm just like, God, this guy's a freak. Like, what is it? Like, what did the Rays unhatch here? And he is in like the 99th percentile in like every category.
Yeah.
Exit velocity against, expected batting average against, hit like his pitches are above, like I think his 3 pitches are above average as far as movement and spin are concerned. It's the WOBA, like expected WOBA. It just everything like yells like elite.
Yeah.
This year, at least. This year, elite. And while Pete Fairbanks certainly has the fastball, and like Pete has been tremendous to begin the season, like coming back from the IL. It's, I mean, he's always scared the ever-living crud out of Rays fans in the past. And this year he's been really rock solid. But when push comes to shove, when Kevin Cash is building out a bullpen, when is Jason Adam pitching? It is always 2, 3, 4, 5. He is always his main guy. It doesn't matter what inning. That's what the Rays have taught us over the last couple of years. I don't care what inning it is, who's this, who's that. When 2, 3, 4 come up in the 7th, 8th, or 9th, Jason Adams is going to be pitching. So, and Brooks Raley has been the consolation prize. And Fairbanks is sneaking up now, sort of kind of in like maybe like 5, 6, 7. Like he's like right there. Like, hey, if we need him to pitch to 4, 5, 6, I'll go Fairbanks if I'm like, judging this out. But, even when Poche was getting those closing opportunities, a lot of those opportunities were coming around 6, 7, 8 in the lineup. So it was just falling in Poche's hands that he was kind of third string. And it was like, all right, here's another 9th inning where the bottom of the order is coming up. Here's Poche time. And he kind of worked himself out of that role, and now you're seeing kind of the 3-headed monster of Adam, Fairbanks, Raley. I think that's kind of your big 3, and you work from there.
Yeah.
But devil's advocate, you just said 2, 3, 4, and maybe we can say 5. That goes the highest leverage 7, 8, 9th to Jason Adam. And I completely agree with you. And I think that's exactly how it should stay. But the question is closer. So in that game, that the 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 goes in the 7th or in the 8th inning, I have no qualms giving it to Jason Adam. You're my high leverage guy. Jason
well, this
Adam.
is a hypothetical, right?
But
this is like if we had to choose one.
But wait, when the 9th comes and the last 3 outs, I think Crazy Eyes deserves it. Those are tough to get. I think Crazy Eyes gets that.
Really?
Crazy
You were such a Crazy Eyes hater last year. Or previously.
What was that?
What was that?
Pete, you would pull your hair out during a Pete Fairbanks appearance. You had a case of the leadoff walk.
In 2020 and in 2021, too much traffic on the bases. That is the antithesis of a reliable relief pitcher, 100%. However, 2022, I do not know what is happening to this man. If the Rays gave him finally the secret sauce, he looks different. He is on a different role. He is not like the Pete Fairbanks of 19, 20, or 21. So what I'm saying is right now, high leverage guy, the most important outs of the game that are not done by the starter, I give it to Jason Adam. But that 9th inning, if I've used Jason Adam, then I give it to Fairbanks.
Okay, so you agree with me that Jason Adam should be the closer because he's the most important reliever.
Okay, let's put it like this. Let's put it like this. Okay, you get to the 9th inning. Jason Adam and Pete Fairbanks are both available. They're both available to be used. Who are you choosing if you're Kevin Cash?
Jason Adam.
I feel like that's how the question should be framed. It's not like, who do we want as a better 7th inning high leverage guy?
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like,
both guys are available to be used.
If we're just talking about you have one guy in the pen. Let's say your starter goes 8, you got one guy coming in for the 9th. Who is it going to be? And I got Jason Adam all day, every
I got to
day.
give it to Jason Adam because you're comparing 50 innings plus to 12 innings plus.
This
and
is like the Kittredge from last year.
But
it's exactly like Kittredge last year, man. He was the guy that had the secret sauce. You ride that dude out. You just ride him out. That's the guy I want.
And let's talk about two stats that are very important for relievers. Number one, home runs per 9. 0.36 for Jason Adam, 0.71 for Pete Fairbanks. So I would rather take Adam on that one. And the second one, Kevin, I love this one. Evan, I think we've talked about this before. The left on base rate, the strand rate for a relief pitcher. Fairbanks is at 83.3%, which is really, really, really good. But Jason Adams is at 88%. So almost 90% strand rate for runners when he's on the mound. That's who you want. That's who you're giving the ball to. 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, I need to give it to the 9 out of 10. So I agree. The thing is, just to kind of get into people's psychology here on why they went for Fairbanks, 60% of the time? You said?
62%.
62% of the time works every time. I think it's the crazy eye thing. Like people like Fairbanks. People like his craziness, his wildness for the 9th inning. People gravitate towards that. People don't really gravitate to a guy who's kind of beige like Jason Adam. He just gets in, does the job, walks away. Kind of like a Mike Trout, like hits a dinger, doesn't even, bat flip, just goes and runs the bases. Like people really don't like, oh man, did you see how he didn't do anything after that great thing he did? People like he yelled at the batter and crazy.
Pete Fairbanks is great fodder, but again, this is nothing against Pete Fairbanks. Excellent pitcher this year. He is certainly number 2, or number 3 in that stable, depending on lefty righty situation. But it just Jason Adam has earned the right for me to stand on this hill and be like, yo, I'm going to war with this guy. Yeah. Have you seen him? Have you seen this pitch movement? It's gnarly. I just, who knows if this is the Jason Adam you'll see next year, but enjoy while you got it right now.
No, exactly. It's one of those good questions to have. And Pete Fairbanks with the eyes, the fact that he's 6'6", he's got the strut, he throws 100 miles an hour, but it's not like Jason Adams' fastball tops out at 92. Like he's throwing 98 at the top of the zone as well and missing bats. And regardless, I mean, Jason Adam has to be one of the best free agent signings of this year across baseball. And maybe, you would probably have to put him on a podium, a top 5 podium of best free agent signings in Rays history. Offense and defense.
100%.
let's get through September first, but
what he's signing for under $1 million, what he's done.
I think he signed for what was it, $900,000?
$900,000 when so many other relievers signed for 2 years, $14 million, and he's up there with Charlie Morton and Carlos Pena and Jeff Keppinger and Fernando Rodney. You talk about the all-time great. Wow, the Rays really struck gold here. They struck gold with Jason Adam, and it was a great play by his agent and him to choose to wind up with the Rays because he's most likely priced himself out of Tampa Bay after this season, where he will get that 2-year, $15 million deal from some team. He will get that Brooks Raley-esque team from some team, I would imagine. So
and again, if you pay attention to Evan Closky, he knows what he's talking about. Look at that Savant page. It's just a beautiful piece of artwork. 98th percentile in the whiff percentage, 96th percentile in the K rate, 94th percentile in the average exit velo, hard hit percentage, 98th percentile, fastball spin, 100th percentile, extension, 84th percentile, and that's almost his worst one. It's just beautiful stuff from Jason Adam. I give it to Jason Adam. Closky gives it to Jason Adam. Kevin, I believe you.
I give it to Jason Adam. But I think that Pete Fairbanks would be more fun to watch as a closer in time. This year you got to ride the Jason Adam train. Evan, we discussed this earlier this week. So I went to a Rays game on Friday, and after I went to the game, I got a survey to complete in my inbox, my email inbox from the Rays, and it took about 10 minutes to complete. But one of the questions, I think it was the final question, was what is one thing that you would want that would most improve your quote fan experience at the Trop? Now we know you are a member of the media. You get to sit in the ivory tower and get as many hot dogs and chips and diet sodas as you want. But there have been times, and free parking, and there have been times where you sit with us common folk, us normies, us peasants, and you have experienced the life of a Rays fan at the Trop. So I ask you, what would most improve your fan experience at the Trop?
It's a good question. They probably could do a lot more with the in-house entertainment. I just think that you go to a game and there's not much like, I don't know, you go to a lot of other games and they got like, you know, I know they have that little hat game where they put the ball in.
Yeah,
like everyone does that. But like, you know, bring up a couple people to do this trivia or to have this piece of entertainment. I know we have the groundskeeper who, you know.
right. I don't think they did any in-game interview with a fan during the game I went to on Friday. I know Ulises has been to like 18 games in the last 3 days or something like that. I don't know.
I don't remember
if every game.
I don't know if they have an in-house like entertainment.
Yeah,
person.
they do. Nate Coran, he used to work for USF, but he hasn't. Yeah. I don't know what. Clearly, he was not doing crap on Friday because I didn't see anything on the video boards. But
yeah, I don't know. I feel like, you know, I don't want to say they need to go like they have to kind of look at some like minor league teams and how they do things, because I mean your attendance numbers are what they are. So I think you do have to find creative ways to put butts in the seats and create a fun environment to go to. Because you're certainly not going to enjoy Tropicana Field for its sights. You certainly will enjoy its temperature, but I just think that they need to. I don't know. You go to a Lightning game and you go there and you're like, man, I got to get to the Lightning early so I can see the whole thing on the ice and what, you know, the kind of like the preamble to the game. They build around it and it's a whole show. And, you know, for the Trop, you just kind of meander in there, you sit down and, you know, I don't know.
For the Trop, you want to get there late so you don't have to pay parking. For the Lightning, you want to get there early to see the entertainment.
This is very much like that George Carlin bit about baseball is played in a park. Football is played in a gridiron. You know, it's like that's just kind of the way, you know, you go to the Trop and you're just seeing the sights. But I do it like, you know what they do in, I think it's in Atlanta, right? What's the Incredibles? The
guy that races around the track.
That's
Mr.
cool.
Freeze.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze. Like that's a cool little thing. Like more trivia. They do a good trivia though at the Trop. I love this one because it's like race centered. It's race focused.
Yeah.
I wonder if, and it's the face of Wander Franco, and what's older, MySpace or Wander? And there's a fan being, you know, asked this question. What's older, Wander or a BlackBerry? You know, a Wander or, you know, Blink 182?
Yeah.
All these questions, like more.
So that happened while you were at the game?
Yeah. So that's cool, and we need more of that. The problem is, like Tyler Glasnow said in an interview, the sound system is poop.
Yeah,
the sound system, because then the entertainment can actually improve. But no matter if you do the Mr. Freeze or more wonder if questions or interview or more fans, it's not going to actually give you any value, any added value, if you don't fix that sound system. Come on, Stu.
Yeah. Look, I was at the game on Friday, and I don't recall any of that trivia or any in-game antics, so to speak, outside of like one, you know, player Q&A. It just wasn't much. Again, now it was $5 beer night, so I could have, you know, missed a couple things there.
More of that.
Well, that's the other thing too. I mean, so Ulises, on this, besides that, earlier this week, you said cup holders. That was a biggie.
Thank you.
I said cheaper concession / cheaper parking. $20 parking, I think, is a total ripoff. And
I will say, though, it's cheaper. I mean, you go to some other parks. I agree parking in general is a ripoff. But in the grand scheme of things, their parking is pennies compared to like going to like Citi Field. It's ridiculous. Overall, shame on you, Major League Baseball. How do you sleep at night?
Don't. I will not allow Evan Closky to talk to me about how much or how little parking costs because
You brought it up, not I.
He gets an embossed lanyard that allows him to park for free anywhere he goes. So I'm going to put the kibosh on that one. But you are not wrong there. You are not wrong because Ty McCann said, he called me out. He was like, in Boston, parking is about $50. That's insane.
It's insane. It's awesome. It's asphalt. It's bleeping concrete. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Some other comments here. So we got our answers
Here's
from
something
ourselves.
that the Rays should invest in. They should get a little gondola that goes across the bridge, but you can only take it with a ticket to the Rays game.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know what a gondola is, though.
You know, like a little like those buckets
like
that you in amusement parks where you go from one park to the other and you get in your little bucket and you go across the other side.
That's
I think okay.
No, wait, a gondola's a gondola is like the one they.
Oh, gondola, yeah, you know, you're right. Okay, I'm thinking of that, but I'll take a gondola too. You can go air and sea. All right.
Yeah, I like that.
But it's the Rays build it, and it's the only way. And then you build a new park over there, and you monetize everything.
Yeah.
You want to get home quicker? Take this, but also buy season tickets because that gets you a free pass all year long.
Oh, I like this.
So some other comments here before we wrap it up, just to give some listener shout outs. Ty McCann mentioned parking's not that bad at the Trop when you consider other markets like Boston. M. Glazer says better seats to sit in. They get uncomfortable towards the end of the game. Yeah, it'd be nice to have cushions. David Lopez says a World Series championship banner hanging from the catwalk. Okay. Samurai X has a lot of F-word comments here, but he is
fun.
Yeah, he's batting for $9 tickets. He'd like to see more of those, and also
you can get it for $15. I was looking the other day, so
yeah, and open the 300s with a couple.
I mean, why you can be closer to the action. You can be closer to the action in the 200s or the 100s.
Look, I don't. There are a lot of things. There are a lot of things with Stu that, and deservedly so, he gets crapped on about. But like, this team was giving out tickets basically for free last year to go watch a 100-win team, and it certainly did help. It got them.
Yes, it did. It
did help. into 5 digits as far as their attendance number were towards the end of the season. But I mean, overall, like, look, I do tend to believe that while I sympathize with people that need to get across the bridge and do all that stuff, like so many other markets, man, when you live in the suburbs, that's just the way it is. It's like the stadium's going to be 30 to 45 minutes away. You go into the city, you want to go into the Bronx, and you live on Long Island, like it's going to take you an hour and a half to get there. People, you do it. So
near the Yankee Stadium, though, that's the problem. No, and dolphins live next to the Trop, not human beings. That's the issue.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, look, bring the Tampa. I'm all for that. But I'm just saying. Side note, you want change, you got to show up, and in general, and so that's one of the things. I mean, I'll also say this: attendance numbers aren't 100% necessary for Stu to make his money, but we'll save that for another pod. I mean, it is and it isn't, but whatever. We can break that down another time.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I don't think Hillsborough County is the right place. I think Zephyr Hills and Pasco.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Yeah,
I wonder why. Yeah, that's an inside joke, fellas. Yeah, that's an inside joke there. Yeah.
There's a lot of acreage out there, a lot of land.
Yeah,
you can
tremendous water. Yeah. Tremendous water.
Yeah, we'll get into. Anyway, Evan, where can people find your work?
Yeah, you check me out on Twitter at @eClosky WTSP. Also head to 10tampabay.com. It's Buck season. They're beginning on September 11th. They have their preseason game, their last one coming up on Saturday against the Colts. So we have all that brewing. And then the Bolts, before we know it, are going to be back in camp in like 3 to 4 weeks, which is nuts to me. But,
wow.
Once you hit September, October, you're going to want to become. And I got info shooting in every which direction of our professional team. So, chime in, reach out with a comment. Would love to chat, be nice. And yeah.
Yeah, and Kevin Weiss is joining the Live Golf Tour as well. So there's another lead that you can carry. Evan, I'm giving you the tip right now, so go ahead and run with it.
Okay. I want to say something about the be nice part. Can people be nice to the GOAT Tom Brady, to my GOAT Tom Brady? So what? He's missing a couple games of preseason. Can people chill out? Does the guy need to be there? No, he don't. He's a
when you're on The Masked Singer, it's tough to be there. So
I mean, whatever conspiracy hole you want to get into on where Tom Brady is, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. He's the Justin Verlander. He can come from Tommy John and win a Cy Young. He's the Jacob deGrom. He comes in and nobody hits on his sliders. That's Tom Brady. He can miss a couple of preseason games. That's my football rant of the year.
Well, again, people are jealous of Tom Brady because of all the jewelry that he has, his hot supermodel wife, the millions upon millions, if not got to be close to $1 billion in the bank, the fact that he's also good looking, and the fact that we lost Evan there. The fact that he's like a 4 handicap in golf. What can I tell you? So, Evan lost his connection. On that note, thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your first listen every day. Now make your second listen the Locked On MLB Prospects podcast. That is also free and available on all platforms. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you on Friday.